For those that follow us in gaming, for those that follow us in the card games, make sure you get yourself some Wise Guys merch. It's pretty clean. Let's get it. Hopefully in this video, guys, I do Black Kaiba. Make sure you go sub to him and the homie and the teammate OG Jimmy Buckingham. Hopefully I do them both proud and showing off these Blue Eyes combos. So let's get into it. I wanted to show a basic combo with where we start off with Sage and a new card, Tyrant of D. And talking about the Blue Eyes stuff, I really think the Tyrant of D is really ignorant. It's basically a Lumina style of effect. But in this combo, I'm normal summoning the Sage to add the stone, and then off of Tyrant, I'm dumping the Blue Eyes, and then pitching the stone that I add to then therefore special summon back in a Lumina style effect, as I said before, to then summon another Blue Eyes, and then from there you add another Blue Eyes, and then from there you're going into a Halka Fibrax combo. It's pretty generic, and then from there you pretty much any 8 that you want you can grab, just to kind of point that out. But on your opponent's turn, you're basically special summoning out a Formula Synchron, drawing a card, and then being able to synchron your opponent's turn into Baroness LaFleur, as it will come out just before this Blue Eye stuff does come out. I actually think it comes out at the end of this month, October. I definitely think as your turn would round itself out, it's not going to be the greatest board. This isn't the best combo deck ever. Blue Eyes has kind of always been a very fun deck and a very beloved deck. It hasn't been meta in about 5-6 years, and I don't think it's going to be meta even with this new stuff, but it definitely is going to be something that you're going to have to be aware of and pay attention to because of cards like Spirit Dragon still being really popular. As far as this second combo, it's pretty much the same thing. Starts off pretty much the same way, and getting into that Halka Fibrax combo with Tyrant and Sage. Basically, you have that each and every time you have a Halka Fibrax, pretty much whenever you want it. This time I wanted to highlight a card like Nebula Dragon, because basically Nebula Dragon can special summon itself out, as well as another dragon, which is usually going to be in your hand. But for the rest of the turn, you're pretty much locked into dragon. I think it's Light and Dark dragons and blah. Hope Harbingers are dragons, so that's how you get around that. And on your opponent's turn, it's pretty much the same thing. In the end phase, the stone effect activates, the Halka Fibrax tributes itself off, and again, you have a pretty decent board again. Now, obviously, you could go into something like Satellite Warrior. I think with the sheer power of Baroness and how elite it's going to be, and how it can play perfectly into this deck's hands by being able to spam back a Blue Eyes, it really is a decent for a rogue deck setup. I would say that. Moving on, I want to talk about the fusion. There's no way to really show it without just showing the card generically, and the new fusion card, which says it's unaffected by traps. It can attack all opponents' monsters, kind of like Purgatrio or UCT. And the third effect, once per turn if this card battles, at the end of the damage step, you can target a trap in your graveyard and set it to your spell at trap zone. I wish that it had the bounce effect that I feel like there was a card that I wanted to talk about and I didn't quite get to slip it into this video. But for the fusion itself, I really think that it's actually insane. And the fact that Bingo Machine Go can grab either that or the new trap card, obviously you guys already knew about that, as you probably already have the True Light in your hands. If you haven't, I would make sure you pick them up at your locals. But I definitely think that all of these cards and Bingo Machine Go being pretty much the wheels to everything now is really pertinent and really powerful, and definitely ups consistency. In some of these other ones, I just wanted to show kind of what random hands look like, I guess. There's so many cards like Dragon Shrine that I don't feel like you need. Spirit Dragon I don't feel like you need. I don't even like Destined Rivals too much. So in some of these replays, I'm playing like 47 cards, but as you'll see at the end of this video, I definitely think there's a lot of trimming that needs to be done, especially if you're playing the Chaos Space package. We're about to highlight in a few test hands. I just kind of wanted to show what the deck is going to look like when you're repeatedly hitting reset and repeatedly kind of looking at different hands. With this hand, I wanted to show just a natural hand. Again, your normal summoning Sage to then add the stone. Then from there, Tyrants to special summon itself out. Pitching the stone, obviously you dump out the Blue Eyes, blah. It's the same setup as before. In this specific scenario, I wanted to show why in the world you would want to play the little white one and the little black dragons, because they're both really powerful, and they're really free along with the Chaos Space that you know that you have to play along with those. those are going to help you from the Striker Dragon, from the LP. I mean, not the LP. LP's gone. Pisty, and any other cards that you have on the field can pretty much go into Saryuja. And then from there, you can pretty much choose to either go into a Hieratic Seal, a Spirit Dragon, and much, much more. I definitely think there's anti-Nibiru combos that you also have to know, because you can pretty fluidly and pretty easily get into the Photon Lord to be able to negate a Nibiru pretty much whenever you want to. In the second hand, again, guys, another test hand. You pretty much start off with Tyrant again, dumping the Blue Eyes, adding well, I had the Stone in the hand this time. This time you're pitching it, then trading in to draw some more cards. Now, obviously, I actually added Jet. I didn't mean to add Jet, which I'll correct here in a second. You definitely want to add Blue Eyes, just because you'll have another fodder on the field by being able to reveal the Blue Eyes to special summon out alternative, and then continue from there. And again, guys, you have multiple options of whether you want to go into a Spirit Dragon, whether you want to go into Hieratic Seal. It pretty much depends on the matchup. And most of the time, I'd want to pick Hieratic Seal, but as powerful as Spirit Dragon is, and specifically what the meta is going to be, maybe you need to negate a monster in the grave. Maybe you need to do some other stuff, and then maybe you need to lock out Pendulum. Maybe you need to beat Tri-Brigade Revolt, because Spirit Dragon does that. These are the things is why I'm saying you're going to have to know what your specific matchup is. As far as the actual list, and I'm just messing around with, guys, this is just my list. I feel like I would want to play 40, and obviously I would defer to somebody like Black Kaiba, which hopefully, and I'm going to tag him in this video too. Hopefully he does a video. I know you guys haven't seen him in a while, but he owes it to all of us, man. But seriously, getting into the rest of the list, I really feel like all this stuff is just really streamlined. There's nothing that you really can improve too much on the Blue Eye stuff. I definitely think the Chaos Space with the Collapse Serpent and the Wyvern Burster, as well as adding the Levianeer, and I feel like a Veiler in the deck, it goes really well, just because it's an extra target off of Sage, and it just doesn't hurt to open a card like Veiler, regardless. You know, obviously I think you're going to have more than one hand trap, just because this deck can't really stand up to other decks if you don't have any kind of hand trap, so that would be something you have to mess around with. And cards like Jet Dragon are just really odd. Like, I want to showcase it inside of the deck, but I just don't know where in the world you really would want to showcase it. How much is it really needed? It really depends, guys. Of course, through the rest of the deck, obviously Guardian Chimera is going to be a really powerful card that you're going to have to research in and of itself, because it takes 3 different names. And if you're adding a regular polymerization into this deck, it's definitely a card option that you'd want to add to the deck. I definitely think the Verte Anaconda can be easily added to the deck, for the simple fact that the Tyrant Dragon, the new Fusion Dragon, is extremely powerful, and just having 2 effect monsters, which is going to be an awful lot of the amount of the times, as long as you're not using the Blue Eyes White Dragon, you're good, and it's going to definitely do some damage. I also think here that the Blue Eyes Ultimate alternative isn't quite needed. I would personally play Sanafon, just because Sanafon destroys certain decks like it definitely hurts Tri-Brigade, it definitely hurts Drytron, it definitely hurts Dragon Link. There's a whole lot of decks that it hurts, so I would highly recommend that. Just make sure, specifically on those specific turns where you're locked from the Nebula Dragon, etc., you cannot special summon it. Guys, I hope this has helped you in some kind of way, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. YG, baby. Make sure y'all go spam Black Kaiba.